I am not an expert on archaeology. I hate to say I'm an expert at arrowhead hunting. But to do a video series called The Definitive Guide, I just need to make it clear that this is from my experiences, the things I've learned in 50 years of trying to pick up pointy rocks. I don't know all the answers. It's a journey. Hope you guys enjoy coming along with me while we try to explain some of this, and maybe we can both learn something. Appreciate it. That right there is what it's all about. The number one secret to finding arrowheads, artifacts, whatever you want to call them, stuff that ancient man left for us, that's the answer right there. Huge hot summer day here on the creek. We're going to talk about this and try to get some more points across to y'all on how to find artifacts, and maybe I learned something myself on the journey. Be right back. Headed for a forecasted high of 103 degrees today. It's well on the way to that. And truthfully, the kind of video I'm wanting to do here is probably more of a classroom deal, but it'd be boring that way. I felt like it's best to do this on location at these creeks that I like to hunt so much, and try to find a way to make this all tie together. I've done almost everything that I'm going to be doing in this video series before in other videos. I'm just going to try this, tie all these together in, I don't know, 3, maybe 4 videos. I really don't know. The Lord knows I love to hear myself talk, right? My friends tell me that. Right, Mike? It's all about the water. And here's the way I like to tell people this. Ancient man, from Native American Indians from the last 800,000 years all the way back to the paleo and pre-paleo, whatever, they had one thing in common that we have in common with them also. I keep picking up stuff. I can't help it. I'm sitting down here. I gotta keep looking. I never quit looking. Another secret. They did not have a Casey's, a 7-Eleven. They didn't have a Piggly Wiggly or the Walmart. They had to have water. Water was the source, of course, for drinking, for washing, cleaning. It was also the source for their food, for fishing, game. Water is everything. If you're not hunting near old water meaning established waterways that have been there for thousands of years, and you are not hunting the prime places. Not that you can't find artifacts away from water. That's discussion. It's going to be a whole nother topic. I had a young man a couple years ago watch a video. I said this about the water thing. First thing I ever talked about. He said, well, he'd hunted around his parents' ponds or whatever and hadn't found anything. Unless that pond is in what I like to call the territories, which is where ancient man lived, near waterways, it's not going to work. Just digging up a pond in the middle of a field somewhere is not going to make it a prime spot or even a very good spot to find artifacts. The territories, I like to call it that. And to make it simple, the territories for me is you look at any map, Google Earth, all those great resources we have nowadays, and take that river and draw a half-mile line down it. There's your prime territories. Not necessarily just the creeks, the fields, the ridge tops, everything around those creeks, but a half mile. And that's the prime. But it's also, I've found stuff a lot further than a half mile. But that's a place to start. Of course, these creek bottoms have been plowed for 150 years now, and all the artifacts, pretty much a no-brainer, right? The creeks themselves, there's things that get washed in the creeks, there's things that was lost in the creeks originally. I think a lot of the blades I find in these creeks, and broken blades, were used, they were spearing fish or whatever, and they broke them and they left them lay. I know that. There's just no doubt in my mind, because I try to put myself in their shoes, where I would have been at any given time, what I would have been doing to try to survive. Here it is, it's 96 degrees out, like I said, well on the way to over 100. If I had to have something to eat today, or drink, well, here I am. There's the water, and there's fish in the water, and back then there was a lot more fish, no doubt. There was more fish in these creeks when I was a kid. These creeks were bigger back then too. That's a fact. Creeks were bigger when I was a kid. They're getting smaller. Not very comfortable on this gravel. The territories where ancient man lived and spent most of their time, and probably more so in later years when they became more farmers and not the hunter-gatherers. It's pretty much proven by archaeologists that the people thousands of years ago roamed. They didn't stay in one spot as much, although group after group used the same areas, hence there's more artifacts in those areas. And then beginning a couple thousand years ago or so, 3,000 years ago, and we entered the woodland, in the historical period, people became more farmers, more homebodies. There was more people too. We're talking, and that's a whole, we're talking thousands, millions of people possibly. This isn't little bitty tribes. This is huge numbers of people for thousands of years. That's why they left so much stuff behind. Look how much stuff you left behind in your lifetime. Junk you left laying around. So to make the most of your Arrowhead artifact hunting endeavors, you need to find those territories. Water, water, water. This creek is an old creek. I mean, this creek's been here forever, pretty much. Since the glaciers never made it quite this far south, but pretty close. This creek's been here for a long time. The other thing is springs. And I don't mean wet weather springs that run water out of the ground a couple months out of the year. I'm talking about real springs. There's several of them in this area. Good thing you know where the springs are. I have found artifacts and numbers of artifacts 5-6 miles from a creek, and it took me a while to realize why. I thought, this is crazy. They shouldn't be here. Well, there's a good spring somewhere nearby. A good spring. You can find things, and I have found things, miles, flat land away from everything or whatever. It's just prairie out here where there's not the creeks for miles, because people had camps, they had small settlements, go between points, but don't worry about that. I'm telling you, if you want to increase your numbers, increase your odds, you've got to follow the waterways. It's just that simple, I think. It don't always work. That's the other thing, y'all. It don't always work. It's a lot of time, a lot of efforts. I found 3 points or pieces that were better than just worked here last time in a 80-yard stretch. It took me several hours to find them. And that is more than usual, but we've had all these floods. Actually, this thing's been up at least 3 times since then. I haven't had time to get back to it, because time is everything. When I used to devote more time to this, I found more stuff. It's the only thing that you can do to differentiate yourself from other point hunters or other artifact hunters, because I hate to call them arrowheads, is to put the time in. It takes a lot of time. And if you're not a patient person, if you're not a thorough person, it's never going to work. If you like to stumble around the creek, get your feet wet once in a while, excellent. Find a point once in a while, perfect. If you're going to be serious about it, and I've been too serious enough, it makes it not much fun, trust me. You got to put time in. Time is everything. It takes a lot of time for this stuff to get here. It takes a lot of time to find it. Here's the tip of the day. Turn over a lot of rocks. Move rocks. I found today I'm not doing that. I'm not trying hard enough. Carry a stick, carry a hoe, carry something, and turn rocks over. If it's thin, reach down and move it. If it's got a different color, reach down and move it. Just do that, move rocks, you'll find more stuff. Tip of the day. So you've got to have water. Once you figure out that water is the key to life, to your life and my life, just like it was ancient man's life, And get it in your head, that's all it is. Water is everything. Water's life for the critters they hunted and the fish and for themselves. Once you figure that out, it'll be a big help. And it shouldn't be hard to figure out. But I know people that hunt miles and miles away. Well, you know what? I did it when I was a kid. Hey, a plowed field. Let's go see if we can hunt it. Boy, the miles I've walked in good plowed fields near water, not to mention those that were just absolutely very little chance of finding anything, but I would find something once in a while. Because especially the hunter-gatherers, they hunted, they went ways, and they dropped things, they used things, they made camps. The hours spent wasting my time in bad spots. I prefer, as I get older, of course, to streamline and to be, work smarter. It's funny, I got out of the truck a minute ago and I picked this one up right away. It's another big part of my teachings is you need to learn to identify debitage. Identify pieces and flakes, and that's what that is. It's got a worked edge on it. It's not a point. It never was a point or a blade, but it's debitage. It's been napped on. I did a video last year on nap and how I can identify that. I did several videos actually, because people say, that's just a rock. Good for you. Once you learn to identify debitage, you're going to make it gives you confidence. It makes you slow down. It makes you look harder. It makes you identify patinas, which this bright white stuff obviously jumps out. But it makes you identify patinas that show that the rock has been hit on. A million-year-old rock or several million-year-old rock when it's been hit on is a different color. Even if it's thousands of years old now. And of course, that thousands of years it's spent in the creek or in the dirt or in an acid bath somewhere of becoming crazy soil, what it does to rock is a clue. It makes it jump out to you, and it shows you that it's not just a rock. Is that anything important? No, I probably just leave it lay. It's not anything. Is it? No. It's got kind of a worked edge, but you need to learn to identify the debitage wherever you're at. And it's everywhere in my country, here in central Missouri. And I've been other places to know when you get in these creek bottoms that look like this, it's everywhere there too. I'm going to do a little stumbling around in the heat here. My wife's rock hunting up here. We're not going to be here very long because it's just hot. It's no fun. But this creek's changed since the last time I've been here. Probably been other people here too. I've got so many things I want to talk about. This one here, though, is about water, about the lifeline. Follow the water, find the artifacts. I don't know how to make it any simpler than that. I don't know everything about this. Gosh, nobody does. Even archaeologists don't know everything. They think they do sometimes. That's all I got. God bless you guys. We'll do it again pretty soon and try to get a little bit more detail for you. Thanks for watching.